Hi YouTube, I'm Flaowr. Today I'll be making an in-depth live commentary walkthrough of Elden Ring for an Arcane bleed build, mostly melee focused build. The goal of this series is to help players see what they do in the early game of Elden Ring so they can experience this beautiful game. Now this is targeted for these players that really haven't done Ring yet. I'm pretty experienced though, and I feel like there's something that anybody can enjoy. Today we'll be picking the Samurai class whenever you load in. Go ahead and name our character. You can actually have multiple characters in this game, so I gotta make sure I label this for later. Let's be a Gorl. At the very beginning, you're gonna want to pick Golden Seed, especially if you're newer. It's literally just another health potion. You need more health potions. Have some favorites saved here. Ignore that one. Go ahead and just pick it, finish. Starting the game with this character. And alright, I'm excited. This is my first single player game playthrough that'll be uploaded to YouTube. I love this.
Offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring. The mad taint of their newfound strength triggered the shattering.
The artwork is so beautiful in this game.
A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Oh, rise now, ye tarnished, ye dead.
That's us.
Live. The call of long lost grace speaks to
I love this intro. It's just getting us hyped.
Chieftain of the Badlands, the ever-brilliant Gold Mask. Fear, the deathbed companion, the loathsome dung-eater, and Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing.
Oh boy. Okay. Tried to mute my mic for some of that, just that way y'all can see. It's a little light.
And one other, whom grace would again bless.
Is it me?
A tarnished of no renown.
Oh, that's kind of messed up. No renown yet. You always gotta add the yet.
Fall to the lands between. stand before the Elden Ring
Yep.
and become the Elden Lord.
Absolutely. So, like I said, this is going to be kind of a a walkthrough of sorts, but it's also just my gameplay. I've been wanting to do a bleed build for YouTube. We chose Samurai because of the starting weapon, and the stats are good. So when you're playing, pick Samurai. When you're loading in, you're going to start with, you can go to your equipment by clicking pause, go to your equipment. You have a bow, you have a shield. I don't use either, so I click X on both to remove them. I literally just dual hand my katana, and we're going to get some other tools that I feel like are more important in this playthrough. The bow can be useful, but there's better bows, and the chip damage just isn't really enough. It doesn't really seem to be very Elden Ring to use a bow, although there's some challenge videos, and I encourage you to use a bow if you think it's fun, but shields and bows aren't my thing, so what I do is I hold down Y to bring up this little menu in the bottom left, and if you're on controller like me, you can click right bumper on an Xbox controller. It'll two-hand it. It gives you a higher strength stat, which will increase your damage very slightly. But yeah, it mainly just changes your moveset. You have light attacks and heavy attacks. But yeah, let's just keep going. A lot of you guys are going to know that part of this game. I'm more here to get you through the early game. So here, this first fight is BS. I'm not even going to try to beat him. Some people can beat him, but I like to get into the meat and bones of this game. This first fight is not the meat and bones of this game. But that's kind of like to teach players a lesson that you're supposed to be able to fail and die. That's kind of like the whole gimmick of Dark Souls, at least the way I've interpreted it. Here comes someone.
Don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on her side.
Is it?
We found her here after all. One of her kind is sure to seek the Elden Ring.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get it, so.
Even if it does violate the Golden Order.
Oh. Alright, this is the tutorial area. We have our flasks now. We have a health flask in the bottom left and a mana flask. If you jump down on this right side, you get a tutorial area. And the reason I'm gonna go through it is because there's an item you can buy for some... In this game they call them runes. They're normally called souls in Dark Souls. We need some early game runes, so even though I don't need a tutorial... we can go ahead and add our flask to the charge. I'm gonna go all health pots for now because we're not using mana quite yet. But yeah, I'm gonna go through the tutorial just to get these runes. Nice. These guys are pretty much pushovers. I know if you've already gotten this game, you've probably been through here. The game kind of handed you a couple easy fights, and then you might have gotten stuck somewhere early. Well, I'm here to just kind of show you what to do after that. And I mean, hey, if you don't want to do your own playthrough, you can kind of live through this playthrough. I'm sure I'll do a few Elden Ring things on this channel. I just really liked this game when it came out. That's what I love about the bleed builds. You get tons of cinematic giant bleed spurts, and it's just fun. If you guys don't know how bleed works, it's kind of like a status ailment that's building up, and when it goes off, unlike most games where it's like a tick, in this game it's a big burst of damage. I believe it's 20% of their HP. It could be 10%, but it's a percentage HP, so no matter how much health the boss has, bleed will cut through it eventually. Very versatile. Very few weaknesses. Some people think it's OP. It kind of is. We'll be using a few strong tools in this playthrough, because this is supposed to be a walkthrough for players that were having trouble with the game. Kind of show them what some other people do to maybe get through this part. And a lot of people when they're playing, they're kind of just figuring out as they go. I kind of already know what path I'm going to be taking. So you could literally just follow this path until you feel like you're strong enough to just go exploring on your own again. This isn't a real boss. It's literally just a soldier with a boss name tag. We still get to win though. Get the teabag on him. I'm just trying to get through this early game as fast as possible. Faster we get through this, the more I can show you what we're actually looking for in the early game. So we've got our starting runes. While I'm here, I'm gonna go and remove this memory grace, if it lets me. Yeah. Grab every grace we can. This door right here is important. So if we look at our map by clicking back, we have the Stranded Graveyard. Remember that title, although I'll be reminding you. Stranded Graveyard. There's an important item in here that we're gonna get. Most Faith builds use it, but Arcane builds can actually use it too. There's a few good items in that dungeon too, but they're not all worth it for what we're going for. There's so much stuff in this game to explore. I'd be going through it for like years in videos if I really put my mind to it, but for a walkthrough series, we're only going to do what is fun and necessary. We got our first grace out here. We can talk to Vare. This is Vare.
Oh yes, tarnished, are we?
Mm-hmm.
Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring?
Yes.
Of course you have. No shame in it. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless. Without
We're what?
friends, without the strength of
We're
rules,
maidenless.
without an invitation to the round table hold, you are fated, it seems, to die in obscurity.
Darn. So I could keep talking to him and he's going to give us some motivational words, but it's not really important. So, first thing you want to do here, I'm just kind of grabbing everything. A lot of people get stuck on this yellow guy. He's an optional boss. You do not have to fight him. He is kind of here to teach new players a lesson that you're not supposed... Well, you actually are supposed to explore, but that you can't always beat everything, and sometimes you're going to have to come back. This is one of those bosses that, sure, I could beat him, and it might take me a couple hours. Or I can walk past him and come back and beat him later. Just grab every grace you find, by the way. These are just checkpoints. Think of it like that. And smithing stones. We're gonna need these. So this is what we needed the runes for.
Tarnished.
This is Kale,
I can see it,
Kale.
but I can also see that you're not. Then why not? I am Kale.
Kind of skip through his dialogue because I'm here for this item, the crafting kit in the top right corner. The other stuff that he has, I'm gonna grab a torch just because you guys don't want me walking through the dark for a YouTube video.
Business.
Normally I don't use a torch. Normally you guys want to grab these flowers if you're going to play with your friends. The Erdleaf flowers, they let you play with your friends. Alright, so after you've talked to Kali, guys, just head north. And fight everything along the way that you can beat. You just want to get these runes. I'm not a huge fan of farming for runes, because if you get over-leveled, you can kind of make the game a little boring. But, the game never becomes easy by any means. Just easier. But you always do want to be killing stuff at and around your level. To get these level ups. But yeah, after you head north, you're going to find these ruins. This is an important starting area. But we're heading up here to the top left because we're going to get our horse. We're going to get Torrent. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have gotten this far, but I still got to go through it. This is part 1. Let's get that horse. See this cutscene.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina.
Oh my gosh, girl, I love your makeup.
I offer you an accord.
So Melina's our car salesman. She's gonna give us our Honda Accord, otherwise known as Torrent.
They serve the two fingers.
The two
Offer
fingers.
Guidance and aid to the tarnished.
I'm tarnished.
But you, I am afraid, are maidenless.
You're the second person to tell me that.
I can play the role of maiden,
Oh,
turning runes
now you guys know why this game's a bestseller.
to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring.
Thank you, Melina.
You need only take me with you
Done. Done deal.
to the foot of the Erd Tree.
Wait. Hold on. Okay, sure.
Settle. Summon me by grace to turn runes into strength.
Okay.
Ah, another matter. I bequeath to you this ring. Use it to traverse great
Spectral
distances.
Steed Whistle.
It will summon a spectral steed. Torrent has chosen you.
Oh,
Treat him with respect.
I will. Alright, can we level up?
Let my hand share them with me.
We cannot. Okay. So, first thing I'm going to do is pause, go to my pouch. This is another inventory menu. And I'm going to put the ring that she just gave me in the pouch instead of in my inventory. Because I don't want my little down on the D-pad to be cluttered. So if we click our pouch, we just hold Y. And up on the D-pad, we got our horse. Alright, so very cool. So now we have options. We can either head west, or we can head east. The first thing we're going to do is grab the map. And the map of this area is literally going to be right here. And then we also need another thing from this ruins for later. At the very bottom of these stairs, there's going to be a whetstone, and I believe an Ash of War. The Ash of War is the less important thing. Oh god. I don't even want to fight this guy. Alright, so dodge rolling in this game is very important. If you ever get a chance, practice just dodging right as the swing is about to hit you. It gives you iframes. It's really convenient. Alright, so I'm going to rest at this Grace. I'm going to open up the map and talk about it with you guys. Anybody who really needs to understand this early game. After you've been to this Gatefront Ruins, which is where we just were, and you grabbed that map, you'll see this, and you can zoom out, you can zoom in. You're going to have foggy area. You can place markers up to 5, and then you can delete them all. Place a marker into this fog. And the first thing we're going to go do is get Flask of Wondrous Physique. It's just another resource. In this game, it's all about just how much stuff do you have in order to take on bosses. He has a fun little side quest. We're going to ignore that. It doesn't give us anything that important. And literally just avoid things that you don't have to do unless you're ready to take them on. Like, see, I could fight this guy, but I have no upgrades. So it would probably get me killed. So I won't fight him yet. These guys are tough too. Alright. So once I've kind of headed northeast a bit, I can see I can place more markers. I'm just going to keep heading northeast though, because I know that's where I need to go. When you get to this little overhang up here, there's a guy that'll be asking for help. We're going to treat this like an efficient run. And this is something I do on many of my playthroughs just to get through the early game faster. This guy has a quest that you can do that doesn't get finished until near the late game. Or you can murder him now and get a golden seed. Nice little bleed proc. Sorry, brother. See that golden seed? That's another health potion. And we need as many of those as we can get. They're refillable at every Grace. And, you know, in this game, like, you do what you gotta do, you know. We gotta become Elden Lord. We kill everything that's in our path. Or we run past everything that's in our path. But yeah, once you've headed past him east, you're going to come up to this church on the map. It'll be in this little, where this little road meets. We're just heading out of Limgrave. When you head in here, there's going to be 2 things you need to grab. On the left, Sacred Tear. That upgrades how much HP the flasks are actually giving you. And then boom, Wondrous Physique. This is a new flask that automatically gets put in your inventory. And this is going to be important for this menu at the Grace. So we look at our flasks. I can add a charge because I got the golden seed from killing the knight over there. And I can increase the amount of HP each flask is giving me. I'm using all health potions right now, but you can change between health and mana depending on your build. We can also talk to Melina here. She's going to tell us some stuff about America. I don't really want to talk to her right now. Real quick, while we're here, these little markers, they look like little candles. More like pillars. If you put a marker on it, that's where the map is going to be for this grayed out section. And once you go pick up that map, you'll have all the landmarks. And these maps work the way a map would work in real life. So if you ever used a map before, you can literally just follow roads to things. And I usually do like to stick to the roads when I'm exploring because the most important stuff are usually going to be along the roads. And then when you're exploring, you can just divert off of the roads. Especially like if you see like little landmarks and be like, oh, I wonder what is in this little corner. And you can place markers for it. And they've jam-packed this game with stuff. Literally, there's still bosses that I see. Game's been out for months, and I still see new bosses. They're not always tough, but they're new. And they're hidden, and they're fun. Alright, I went to just grab the map. There's a lot of dangerous bears over here. But yeah, we're gonna need this area for later. I'm gonna go ahead and fast travel back to Aguila Lake North. Because there's a couple things we want to get done for this video. But yeah, we've got our Crimson Tears Flask, we got our Wondrous Physic Flask, and we got our horse. Oh, I actually shouldn't have traveled here. Well, anyway, that's fine. After you've gotten your horse and you've done some of this stuff, if you go back to the Church of Ella, you should get this encounter.
May I have a word? A pleasure to meet thee, Tarnished.
Pleasure to meet you too.
Witch Renna. I'd heard tell of a Tarnished hurtling about atop a spectral steed, and upon looking into the matter, the talk I surmise is of thee. Thou art possessed of the power, no? To call forth a spectral steed named Torrent. As I had hoped, I was entrusted this for thee by Torrent's former master.
Alrighty, Spirit Calling Bell. These are controversial to the Elden Ring community.
Elf calling forth spirits
We can summon things in this game.
from ash and return to the Erdtree. The spirits will obey thine command but briefly, as they recall battles past. Now it is thine to do with as thou wishest.
But yeah, we now have a new tool. If we go to our equipment, actually I'm going to go to the pouch and equip Lone Wolf Ashes. Now when I hold Y, I have that little grayed out thing that it doesn't let me use. In boss fights, I can summon things. And there are literally like over 100 different things you can summon in this game. They're incredibly fun to play with.
Illusion Tarnished. I doubt we shall again meet.
Sorry to interrupt, Ronnie.
Learn well the lands between. How long will it be, I wonder, before the Tarnished tire of obeisance to the two fingers?
Alright, enough of her. So yeah, we have our summons. Summons make the game easier. That's all you really need to know. Next, we're going to be heading south. So if you see this whole area, I'm going to put a marker down here. Delete my other markers. Aguila Lake North. We're just going to ride. Riding south. This is an early game area south of us. If you didn't know about it, it's probably why you were struggling in the very beginning. It's because the game wanted you to go exploring. So this is kind of the annoying part when you start a new playthrough. Like, because I love to start new playthroughs all the time. Is that I have to go through all this early game stuff again. But I've already explored, so it's not like the game is really encouraging me to explore. It's more like it's just encouraging me to re-get all of my stuff. But for a first playthrough experience, it was really cool to discover, oh man, there's all this stuff over here that is making me stronger. It's like a big training arc, and I love it. I love these convoys. Look how much detail they put into this world. Oh, it's incredible. This game really is incredible. And there's just so many enemies that you could just go around murdering and killing just to level up. There's so many hidden encounters. Like, just to show you one, we're coming up on one. I believe I hit one of these enemies. Not that one. Is it this one up here? If I hit him, I believe a bear spawns. Or maybe it's not this one. Oh, it is that one! Oh my god. And see, I don't even want to fight that. I have no upgrades. I've just been running from point A to point B this video. Oh, that should have been a warning to y'all. This video is gonna have very few fights, because this is part one. It's preparation. This is part of the walkthrough. Oh my god! Don't die on this bridge. Yeah, you're gonna get to this bridge. There'll be some items you can grab. Stone sword key is important for later. Now, this is probably going to be getting near the end of the video because I don't want it to be too long. Be on the lookout for part 2. That's when we're going to actually get to more of the meat of the prep and more fighting. You can talk to her, but you don't have to. I'm basically going to be taking us to 3 areas, and then we'll call it a day. Now, this little part's important for some players. Make sure as you're walking through this, there's an item right here. It's a Morning Star. It's the first accessible bleed weapon you can easily get, especially if you're really new to this game. Other than if you're us, the Samurai, Arcane already has bleed, so I didn't have to grab that weapon. But not everybody wants to be a Samurai, so... Come up here, there's going to be a Grace. This whole time you were just heading south, by the way, once you cross that bridge, in case you're getting lost. You want to just keep heading south along this road. And once you've gotten to this Grace and you zoom in, you'll see another lighthouse thing. Put a marker on it. It'll make it easier for you. Especially if you don't already have it memorized. And this world is massive. You won't have everything memorized. Careful up ahead here, because by this map, there is a giant golem archer in the distance. And he will probably one-shot you. And then while I'm here, just gonna go up this hill. Try to keep heading south along this hill. We're gonna get another golden seed. I've done this prep with so many of my friends that it's just like, I know it like the back of my hand. Grab this golden seed. Get out of here before you die. Oh god, I'm panicking. We're heading out. I keep grabbing these flowers out of habit, guys. I'm used to playing a lot of co-op with my friends. I do not want to fight this Knight's Cavalry. It's too difficult. Alright, we'll take a little breather, though, as soon as it lets me open my map. I still can't open my map because of the golem. But yeah, if you saw where I went, we're heading west. There's a little frenzied flame village here. I really do want to open the map for you. Okay. So now that we have the map of the Weeping Peninsula, it is this area. There are 3 things you need for your Arcane playthrough. One is, if you zoom in here in the screen, you need to get to this village, which is where we're going right now. And you need to look for these little rectangles all the time. These are the church icons. Put a marker at that as well. And there's one over here. So we have our 3 markers. Okay, I have an extra marker. We have our 3 markers on our compass. We're going to go to all of them. And once you've gone to all of them, you will be miles ahead on if you just tried to take on bosses at the beginning of the game. Okay, so we're looking for the church in this village. Oh, it's over here. There's gonna be rats in here. I like to just ride in here, grab the items, and ride away, because these rats are a little tough if you haven't upgraded your swords, and we haven't done any upgrading yet. Literally, once I've grabbed it, I just head away. If you head over here, you'll see like this little rock thing here. This is kind of a good landmark, because if you head a little bit south of it, you can jump down. Just watch out for fall damage. And you gotta get across this rope bridge, and I know it can be annoying to find, but yeah, just explore. Conquer the area, but that's why these markers are good, so that way you make sure you're always at least getting closer to where you need to get to go. This game has so much to do. So many types of enemies. I encourage you to fight them all. The reason I'm not really doing it is just because this video could take up to 2 hours to do, and I want to try to get it done in this first part, at least, in 40 minutes. Just been riding a lot. We see this church up ahead. It's really hard to miss these, but I still put the markers on them. I know where they are, but I'm doing it so that way for people who are doing their first or second playthrough, the markers mean the world. And we'll take every checkpoint we can get. I'm pretty sure we can level up now. My advice... Okay, so for that arcane build we're doing, we're literally going to be leveling our vigor stat, which is HP, our arcane stat a lot, and maybe later some dexterity, some faith, and we will need endurance and mind way later. But in the early game, all vigor, all arcane. And for me in the early game, I'm only leveling vigor because I just don't want to get one shot. A lot of your damage in this game doesn't actually come from those stats unless you are a mage. Most of your damage is actually going to come from the level of your weapon. So the vigor stat is essentially easy mode. The higher you level it, the better chance you have of surviving your boss encounters. Make sure you level it. A lot of people don't. They feel like they don't need it, and then they're stuck on a boss for 3 days straight. If you don't want that to happen, get your HP. And we're to the last church. Alright, so that's pretty much all I wanted to do on the Weeping Peninsula. There's a boss down here that you can go fight for fun. If you're just trying to level up, I do recommend going to do that. For us though, it's time to go get our first upgrade, if you will. There's a fort over here. Put a marker on it. Travel back to Third Church America. We're going to be getting an Ash of War called Bloody Slash. You've probably heard of it. It's very good for bleed playthroughs. It is pretty much the best option for the Uchikatana early game. It is a powerful attack. It is not that hard to acquire. And while we're over here, we also get another golden seed. This little area over here is full of giant bears that will rip you apart. Just be careful. Oh, I think I forgot to actually show how to use the Wondrous Physick earlier. We'll go through that when we get to the next grace. If you travel around this tree, you can actually grab this item. It's some more stuff you can put into the flask. Now this game is full of backtracking, that's why I do recommend grabbing the graces. I don't have everything memorized in order of what you have to do, but this is pretty much a straight shot to get you through the early game in pretty much under an hour. If you followed everything exactly, you can pretty much get this done in under an hour. And then the rest of your playthrough is pretty much gravy. Oh, I need that grace. Okay, so this is the fort that we're kind of going to take over. But there is a grace back here that I need real quick. Hopefully we can do this with an unupgraded weapon. So real quick, we're gonna rest. Upgrade our flasks as much as we can. I like these little light indicators that they've added. Lets you know what you can upgrade. Mixed Wondrous Physick. So the way this works is you always have 2 slots. Just turning it into a health pot and a stamina boost. What is this one? Enhances charged attacks. Don't need that. I'm gonna go in here and give it our all. I do like to 2-end my weapons just because they give you a very slight damage bonus. It only really gives you a damage bonus if you're a strength build, but everybody has strength, and if your weapon scales at strength at all, it could be like an extra 5 damage a swing. You might as well take it. Oh. Boom. Oh my god, I'm getting double teamed. Don't be afraid to heal in this game too. That was the lesson that I learned. Like to dodge a lot in this game. Go for jumping heavies. You can break posture. I knew I had an iframe there, so it's fine. Oh, I was not fine there. Alright, cool. So, golden seed is here. There's a pumpkin head guarding us. If you're seeing this, you know you're in the right spot. We're in this little fort height west area. This guy looks tougher than he is, but do be careful. His attacks do hit hard. Just try to get your one and done hits and don't be afraid to heal. Especially early game, just try to stay full HP. You don't want to get one shot. Oh, I mistimed all of those. Embarrassing. But those flasks are fully upgraded, so I'm getting full HP off of them. Very good. There's gonna be so many annoying enemies in here. They're gonna be throwing fire pots at you. It's gonna be rats. Fire pots are pretty easy to dodge if you dodge them very last second. Oh my goodness. I'm just kind of killing everything because at this point I do kind of want these runes. Now watch your stamina bars too, because you can only hit so many times before you're out of stamina. So that's why I usually like to keep my hits 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, even sometimes just one hit, and then I start dodging. Because you always want to have stamina to dodge in this game. And that's why endurance is a good stat, because it lets you wear more armor, but you can also have way more stamina. And some people will have stamina boosting equipment, but I don't think that's necessary. It's not very efficient. But everybody plays the game differently. When you get to the top of here, you're going to be fighting a... Oh my god. You're going to be fighting a blood knight. I think that's what he's called. A blood knight. I'm pretty sure he's unique. I've only ever seen this one. He looks like the other Godric knights that we've seen. But he has Bloody Slash. And you can usually sneak up on these knights and backstab them. Yeah. He's not too tough, but he has Bloody Slash, and he's kind of like a cool version of it. But yeah, when you kill him, we get Bloody Slash. While you're here too, a lot of videos will talk about this, but you want to make sure you come up this ladder. You get this medallion piece, Dectus medallion. It's important if you want to take a shortcut later in the game. Which I assume most people do, like shortcuts. Alright, now to use Bloody Slash, head to your nearest grace of choice. This is going to be the last thing I do in this video. It is cutting a little long. Alright. We have our flasks, 7 flasks already. We can't upgrade anymore. Alright, so when you're here, you can go to your Ashes of War. You click on your Uchikatana, you can now equip Blood Uchikatana and set it to blood. Now the stat change you'll notice is that if you look at the attribute scaling in the center, We have strength, dex, arcane, and our blood loss buildup is now 57. If we go back to put it on standard, it goes to 45. Now, blood loss is kind of the gimmick of this build. And when we use our sword now, if we click left trigger for the Ash of War, we have this new attack that takes some of our HP away for a massive sized attack. Very little mana cost, very spammable. Does a ton of damage and poise damage. It is a gift for the bleed early game. Alright, well, that's part 1 of my Elden Ring playthrough. I hope you all found something enjoyable. I'll try to get better at my commentary. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in part 2. Bye-bye.